Yeaah. I type up on the keyboard, look into the browser, and bring up the live chat feed. The final boss was Bowser. Look into the buffalo, look into the bonbon. If you want to say hello, you will have some fun. What is happening? That's what I want to know right now. I imagine I exist, but I don't know if I exist. Hey guys. Yeah, I think I exist. Okay, cool. I exist. Alright, so let me just set up this chat window here. You know, you always want them chat windows. Alright. So I can't see everything very well while I do this work. So if I miss something awesome that is occurring, or I'm ignoring your question, it is not personal. It is accidental because of my incompetence and because of lack of visibility in the windows. So let me just scroll up here. Is that, yeah, that's visible. You guys can kind of see what I'm working on there. That's cool. Let me, I can just kind of pull this down here where people can see the chat. Scroll. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys know that, right? It's the fundamental premise of everything I do on Drunkards and Dragons is that I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so we are, where are we and why are we? Well, you guys may, buenas noches. Hola, from Portugal. Congrats on Game of the Month. Comic Fan 92, hey, thanks. Redium, nice to see you. SBC Cave and all the peoples are up in the place. So it's Monday. As many of you may or may not know. What is that? It's Monday. Tomorrow is the 4th. So for you Americans out there, be safe tomorrow. Make sure you throw back a cold one for the Founding Fathers and all that good stuff. Hug your family, hug your friends, then hug yourself because you're cool. Jimmy, go on with the ball thing. You guys may remember the map, right? There's this huge map that I was working on ages ago in a time barely rememberable, in the fog, the distant fog of distant time fog. Let me try to, okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know where my chat thing is. I don't know where my face is. I got blue dots appearing, and I don't like blue dots. Okay, so you guys may remember this map that I was working on in the dawn of time. Let me try to get a little more drawing space. Okay, so check this out. I don't know if you can see this on the resolution of the live streaming because it's so futuristic, but this map has come a long ways since that video in times long past. So there's a lot of work in here, especially over on Ire. So I have most of Ire is pretty much good to go. So the process here, I have some northern islands up there where the primals live. There's some stuff here that isn't done, but the process here is to get this map done and then to use it to fill in the Alfheim portion of the world book that I'm working on. So that, you know, when you're drawing a blank, which when you're me is like all the time, you can look at the map and you can dig into the map to find new hooks and new story bits. And, you know, it's really fun too when you're running a campaign to move your kind of little "you are here" indicator around with your party and stuff like that. So I think all these things will come together into this map. I'm going to try to find a way to, when the world book comes out, to give you a print-on-demand, huge foldable wall-size map. So that will be awesome. Yeah, so I got really far on this one, and then I realized like this whole pine tree style. So here, we'll come in here where you can see, because you know how streams are. So I'm not sure what that stray pencil mark is there. But hey, whatever. So I started realizing this style on these pine trees, and I was like, oh man, I need to draw like 3,000 of these pine trees. So, and then I was starting to fill in some cliffs and stuff, and just realizing the style with much more precision and much more finality so that I can go execute this style. Like, I really like doing these sort of suggestions of different kinds of architecture and and this kind of stuff going on. So the more the stuff that I was doing, the more like I could feel what I wanted this piece to look like, this big piece of art. And then the more that the index card community has been growing, like this sort of art style is kind of becoming more and more crisp and more pronounced. So I thought, I was like kind of winding down with my work day today, and I was like, screw that, man. Time enough for the earth and the grave. So I have myself a nice big cup of coffee with a little bit of hooch in there. Just enough. You don't want to ruin the flavor. And then I was like, I suddenly feel better. I should totally live stream while I work on my map. Okay, now you know everything that I know. So you're completely caught up on the situation. Oh, cool. Comic Fan 92 finally finished the first book. Hey, that's great, man. Go read Shield of Hanar next, and you can tell me what a cruel, cruel person I am after you read that one. So you can see a lot more of the central continent is starting to come together. The events of book 2 of the second Runehammer novel, all take place right in this little area. What resolution am I at? I don't know. It's really big. Yeah, it's very large. So it'll be like a wall map. So that's 100%. So like an 8x10 sheet of paper is maybe a 40th of it or so. Okay, so we're going to come up here, and today I wanted to come up and work on the frozen northeast of Alfheim. So that's up here by Dur-Olo, for those of you who kind of know the lay of the land a little bit. And I intentionally have not done this map so far. I really wanted to describe the world in the novels and in the core book in a way that was going to let the imagination float. And also, I hadn't fully visualized it all, and drawing it is the process of visualizing it. So it's kind of, it's starting to come together real nice. Hey, Joseph Sterling, what's up, man? Thanks for all the comments and activity, by the way, on the messages and on all the different sites and everything. And if I could call out each individual person who has done something awesome, or messaged me, or stood up for me, or Runehammer in the past month, it would be a 3-hour live stream just trying to name people. It has been really humbling and awesome experience to be a part of the creative frenzy that is happening right now. Some days I just have to go outside and stare at the trees because it's such a creative saturation. Especially nowadays, I've been crafting. If you can kind of see in the background, I can't see my webcam feed right now, but hopefully it's blurry because I don't want to give any spoilers to my players. But I'm getting ready for the Absolute Tabletop Convention on on Saturday, and I crafted the entire module, everything. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers on accident, but it's a lot of stuff, everything crafted, and I didn't rest on my laurels with my terrain, so I just went all in. Also, thank you DM Scotty, who recently did a craft for me of the Agnar monster from Index Card, and when I got that in the mail, it blew my mind. You see Scotty doing his thing, but to put your hands on the stuff that he makes, the feel and the quality and the rubberiness and the toy-like quality is so awesome. It made me realize how far behind Yoda I am in my skill level. So I had to get back to the craft table and get back to making 3D terrain. Unfortunately, I can't show it in videos and stuff because it's all kind of super secret until after this weekend, and then I can reveal all that stuff. Patrick, the novels I'm talking about are the Runehammer novels that I wrote. There's 2 of them. If you go to runehammergames.com, there's links to where you can get those novels, and go read them and tell me what you think. Kinder Peaks, yeah. Okay, so I can't get too distracted here with the comments because I want to get to work. Okay, so let's get to work. So we got a couple of pieces that I wanted to do. First, I wanted to do the Salt Frost. Okay, so for those of you who are readers out there, you know that the Salt Frost is sort of toward the end. Not sort of toward the end. It is the end of the first novel. And it's where some really bad stuff happens. And it's up here. And if you guys have seen the Deadly Architect and the free Alfheim map that are up on Runehammer Games and the free content, you know that the Black Castle is up here and stuff too. So it wasn't clear in the novel, but in my mind, actually, the Black Castle and Castle Manak are not the same thing. So I wanted to get that clarified here in the map. and lay it down for all posterity. So we're going to start with a road from Dur Olo like this. And then I think there's a road from Dur Moro that's going to come up the coast like that. So there you can see the two roads that are going to come my way. And, the way that I always do roads is just to do like a serpentine line and then, cut it like, Spanish tattoo style. There you go. You just kind of take your eraser and just cut your serpentine line, and there you got your little road. This is how I do things. It may not be the best way, but it's my way. Okay, so there's these two roads, but if you remember, the Salt Frost is a very unforgiving space. So I think what we're going to need is a sort of a rocky area right here, and then the Salt Frost is this kind of beginning of this peninsula, and then out here in the outer peninsula is Castle Manac. So let me do the rocky stuff first, and I think it's basically kind of like Emyn Muil. So if you imagine sort of Emyn Muil, it has this kind of labyrinthine rock thing going on, right? Where the rocks don't make any sense. They're not like just mountains. It's sort of this maze. So I'll try to imply a little bit of a mazy, canyon, rocky kind of place here. So I'm just kind of trucking along. Hey, what's up? Oh, of the vast ocean. What up, dude? Gonna see you in a few days, man. We're going to be touching each other. I mean, in totally appropriate ways. Just how one guy touches another, no big deal. There we go. So this is kind of, you can see it's sort of a combination of canyons and mountains. And yeah, for those of you who are tuning in, who are going up to AtCon in Tacoma, I will see you this weekend, and that will be crazy. Always awesome to see actual human faces in actual real life in 3D. Get to know one another. Speak of what is best in life. So on and so forth. Okay, so these rocks are kind of, what's the reason for doing all these? Like, why do you need this in your map? Well, there's no reason quite yet. Right now it's just sort of scatter, right, to make this map look complete. But as it starts to come together, and as my imagination calms down a little bit, because I'm still in like ADD, people are watching mode, as I start to kind of relax into it, the gaps and the densities and the breaks and the rhythm of the visual will often help me kind of think, ooh, it'd be cool as a little adventure where blah, 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 and then try to give some implication of that. Like you can see like Dur Olo is up here, and it's this kind of little huts, these little fortified huts and some piers and some shipping that's going on here, and there's sort of the coast is a shipping lane up here, and so there's got to be a cool adventure in there somewhere where you arrive in Dur Olo via ship, and maybe you're being sent down near the edge of the Salt Frost, but not into it, because to go into it basically is death. And as you venture down near the Salt Frost, something occurs where, oh crap, you're going to have to go in there, Somebody lost their dog in there, and you're going to have to go. JRPG style, a little guy will pop out of the bushes and be like, could you find my dog? I would give you 4 flowers of healing if you find my dog because of game logic, because it makes sense in this world. On a meta level. Do not question. Simply do the side quest if you desire XP. Hail from Kentucky. Oh, it's the 100 Years' War. Man, not many people make puns about the 100 Years' War. I salute you, sir. Oh, man, yeah. Who's that? Alpha. Yeah, man, I tell you, this is one of the reasons that I never fully read any of the RPG books I think that I've ever had, is that I would get through about the first 10 pages, I'd get all excited, and I'd go and start drawing out the map and coming up with the adventures, and I never even read the second, the last 2/3 of the book. Because it's just too much fun to be had. I mean, well, this is awesome drawing this little stuff. I just used to do, graph paper and a blue ballpoint. And, do all those double lines that you could do so that you could get, double strong lines, and then that great cross-hatching like what Chris Hatley does or what Z does. Z is my nickname for Nate Vanderzee. He never agreed to that nickname, but there it is. I'm just going to put it out there. Oh, hey, Nelms, what up, dude? Yeah, so, okay, so you can see here's kind of my Emon wheel, right? So it's nothing special. It's just sort of some rocks. But we're gonna get this idea of, like, how can you transition from the road up to the salt frost. So first of all, this line of road doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It's kind of coming along here. That seems a little silly. So I think my Emon wheel is a little low. So I'm going to kind of, you know, because thank God for Photoshop, I'm going to move it up so that the road is actually sort of forced to go around. So there's really only a safe southern passage. So we'll do a second passage here, like this. So there's a north passage through the sort of the, you know, whatever we're going to call these rocks, the Wailing Stones or something. Actually, no, the Wailing Stones are over by Gray. These are like, man, we already have used so many names. It'll come to me. I just got to relax. If you guys have ever done like art while you're live streaming and while you're looking at comments, you know, like, it is a little bit of a brain out. So there's an interesting crossroads right here. So I need to put a cool little, there's got to be a little landmark right here. So I think there's like a traveler's, sort of a travel stop right here. There's Old Jib's Tavern. There you go. Oh man, if you haven't seen that Kurt Russell movie, Bone Tomahawk, you've got to watch that movie. It's so awesome. But their little tavern is called the Learned Goat. And it's like a goat with a top hat and a monocle. I was like, man, that is right out of D&D. Tom Wisniewski, I use a Cintiq 23. Players never see a tenth of what I actually draw. Brian Luhan. Well, you know, one way that you can get players to see more of your cool world building is to be much more loose and much faster with how you jump them around the world. If you make these huge sandbox worlds and then kind of wait for players to take the initiative to travel and come up with their own missions and do all this kind of sandbox type behavior, a lot of your work will go unseen, you know, and that's okay because it's still fun to do. But if you want people to see things and you're on a mission to, you know, get traction with your work, like so many things on the channel here, I strongly recommend just blasting through it and montage your way through lots of things that normally take a lot of unfun time in D&D, like traveling and deciding where to go, and just say, you know, well, okay, you guys resolved this little battle, and 2 months later you find yourself up in the northeast of the continent, and then blah, 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 and just, it's fine. That's not breaking any rules. It's totally cool. No one ever said that you have to travel in slow motion in D&D. You can haul ass. Okay, so here at the edge of the Emon wheel, I see like a sort of a plateau forming. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me try to sort of manhandle this coast into a little plateau. So it's kind of like this, and then you got your happy little cliffs of Dover kind of thing going on here. And then the plateau sort of peters off as it approaches the salt frost. And that's going to be sort of an adventure hook right there. There's something there. You know, like there's this little channel. You can see this canyon right here, and it's going to need a name. And like, you know, the road peters out, and there's nowhere to go, and then they realize they have to go through the canyon of the whistling ghosts, you know, like, oh god, it's undead Andy Griffith. All right, so there's the, I know it won't be called the Emon wheel, but it really serves that same purpose. And then I want to show how this forest, especially this plateau forest right here, is going to dwindle into the barren wasteland that is the salt frost. And that's going to give either a dungeon master who's using this or a player who's looking at it or whatever, give them a sort of a cue about how to describe the action that's unfolding, which is we go from this kind of somewhat sheltered environment with mountains and trees into this, oh God, there's nothing out here, right? So you want to get those cues from a good map, and so we're going to try to do that. There'll be 4 days of travel for 2 main party members on the way to the halfling town, hoping it goes smoothly. Yeah, and on the exact opposite side of my own argument, if you do a lot of travel play in your game, and it works and it's fun, then by all means, rock on. Travel realistically, man. It's cool. I just, I am very unskilled at a lot of things, so I've always had a really hard time making travel exciting. And actually, here's a little bit of a spoiler, is that after AtCon is over, I'm actually going to do a whole series on Theater of the Mind play, because I suck at it. I'm bad at role-playing. I'm bad at doing NPC voices, and I'm going to confront all those weaknesses, and I'm going to put in work, yo. We get better at that stuff, because I want to get better at it. Okay, so I need a quick brief on tree style. I want my trees to all match. Okay, so it looks like I scribble up 2 sides, and then I got 2 lines. All right, so let's make sure that all our trees are groovy. Oops, there's Durmoro, and here we're back up here. Okay, so it's like, I think I go like doot 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 doot. There you go, and then boop boop, and there's a tree, and then I go doot 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 doot. I think I go down is the way to get this style. Boop boop. There we go. Doot 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 doot. So now I just need to, I hope you guys are entertained, because I'm going to sit here and draw little black and white pine trees for the next 300 years. So I do 2 little lines for the trunk, and then every once in a while I'll add a little root line. And I have no good reason why. Like so many things I do. It's been one weird experience with ICRPG. Getting what to me feels like a good deal of attention is, I think, people who don't know me quite yet, expect me to sort of know what I'm doing, or have some kind of plan or intention, or be consistent or accountable in some way. I mean, as you guys know, you guys are my lumpy-headed crazies. Like, I have none of those things. I'm just some guy play D&D like you guys. I don't know what's going on. Every day is the first day. Zen mind, beginner's mind. You know what I mean? Why don't you copy and paste patches or small clumps from the other side of the map? Oh, Snowweaver. Oh, Snowweaver. Because no, I can't do that. I have to draw every tree. This is the code. This is the code of people who are drawing trees. You have to draw every stinking tree. It's like, asking why I have to punch the Kung Fu dummy so many times. So I can learn Kung Fu. And Kung Fu is cool to learn. Oh, man, that little dot just gave me an idea. I need a cave, yo. Where my cave at? Here it is. Whoop. There we go. Cave. Boom. Cave. And then the little cave has little steps always. There we go, little cave. So, to me, I don't know about y'all, but if I see that on a map, that is a story to me right there. Something's going to happen in that cave. It's just like back in the day when you're playing WoW, like, nothing mattered until you found a cave. And then you're like, oh crap, a cave. We gonna get XP today. Alright. Little trees. So, only, what is that? It's only about 20 trees. That's no big deal. It's not a big deal. So I think right in here, there was actually a caravan that came through here years ago, and the ruins of it have never been cleaned up. So I'm going to put a little ruined wagon here. Little sticks coming off it, and the little ring things like this, and then little dirt lines. I mean, this is nothing, right? I mean, this is a goofy little drawing. But, once again, I think this is the fun of a good map. Is like, kind of tells you teeny little mini stories that you want to go fill in yourself. For that inevitable day that we all reach when you are out of ideas. You stare into the void. And so we're going to give this little thing a name here in time. But, that's like, Aldair's Rest or something. Like, this is where, this caravan long ago got caught in a snowstorm and they all had to resort to cannibalism and stuff. And no one goes there anymore because it's creepy. That's right there. And, oh, crap, it's near the cave. Man, I just see a whole module forming right there. I love it. I love it. I love my own work. Wow. Okay, so I need more trees. I told you guys, I hope you like watching people draw trees because it's approximately 70% of this channel's content is watching me draw trees. I'm always looking for adventure and stories. Yeah, hey, buddy, me too. More amen to that, Alpha. There should always be a cave. Hell yeah, buddy. Yeah, the Donner Party. You mean as well, including Alfred Packer. So I went to college in Boulder, Colorado, and our mascot besides the bison was Alfred Packer, the notorious cannibal from the Rocky Mountains. I know it's a little weird to have a notorious cannibal as a mascot, but hey, man, mountain people, they're crazy in the best way possible. All right, I love me some mountain people. All right, so I don't know what these dots are. I think they're rocks. Great, so now we have a sense of a kind of a mountain range, right? But it's not a mountain range. It's a little more confusing than that. It's kind of messy. It doesn't look like the Kinder Peaks where it's these nice, luscious, Switzerland-style peaks. It's kind of this more, random, labyrinthine, rocky kind of space. And then you got some pine tree forest, right? So you can't just walk through here. This is going to be woods. And there's going to be, snow monsters of various kinds up here. Yeaah. There perhaps is a yeaah dwelling up here. All right. And I think I'm feeling pretty good about that. That's going to need some naming, and we might need to make a little bit of space to put names in and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a minute. And now we get to do the Salt Frost and Castle Manac. So this is kind of the fun bit that I came to do tonight. Out of curiosity, will you change trees depending on a region? Yeah, there's a bunch of different trees. See, we've got these kind of deciduous trees. Then you got your dead trees. We got cattails. We got palm trees down here in Cath. But oh yeah, look at that! Look at that cool little bridge. Anyway, oh look at the gallows. How cool is that? The gallows of the little graveyard. God, I'm such a dork. Oh boy. Okay, so up the coast. Up the coast with you. I don't know what this is. This is like, that probably is going to have a name right there. That's like Frozen Rock or something. Lookout Rock. Maybe it's a lighthouse right there. I don't know if lighthouses really fit in a fantasy world. I mean, the lighthouse is kind of like a 19th century thing, right? No, I guess it's more like a 16th century or so. Is it that old? Like Candle Power, Paul Bunyan kind of. Paul Bunyan? What am I even saying? You don't even know what you're saying anymore. This is quality YouTube content, right? In the 16th century, there were many heroes, such as Paul Bunyan. Yeah, Alpha, I haven't looked at this in more than a month, so it's super surprising to see this stuff. I mean, I have a lot of projects going on right now. But, one of my tragic flaws, I don't know if it's tragic or not, but it's definitely a flaw, is that I have trouble working on one thing linearly for a long time. So I have to bounce around between projects to kind of keep my attention span under my control. Okay, so Castle Manac is going to wall off this peninsula, and this peninsula down here is his sort of realm of horror. So we're going to kind of put some towers here. And he's going to have like some creepy gothic sort of towers, okay? So I got to make sure to keep my pen hand strong. There's a tendency when you're drawing and you're not sure what you're drawing to like release pressure and to start getting a little more scribbly. And if you want to get better at drawing, you want to break that habit. Always draw confident lines even when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so he has this wall, right? And I'm just going to do this wall. Yeah. Like, stay out of my kingdom, bitches. Oh, you gonna get stitches. All right. So now I'm just kind of cleaning up my work here for the perspective. See, I think it's more important not even to draw the thing properly as it is to do confident line work, because you can clean up the properness, but you can't clean up how confident your line art is. That's just something you just gotta execute. Yeah. All right. So there's his little wall. Little by no means. All right. So it's kind of got these Gothic buttresses, and I'm going to fill in the backs of these so it'll get a little strong with black. So one thing that I'm always working on in the maps is black balance. So it's like if you scan over any part of the map with sort of blurry eyes, you get a sense of balanced amounts of weight or of darkness, so that one thing doesn't catch your eye too much from a distance. Okay, so there, he's got this huge buttressed wall, right? And I drew it just a little off center for this isthmus or peninsula here. So just give it a little nudge because of the magic of Photoshop. There you go. Hankerin, have you ever ran any of the modules, such as Horde of Dragon Queen, and so how was Barry Scobie? Thanks for the question, man. I have not run any of the 5th edition Adventure Path books. Out of the Abyss, Horde of the Dragon Queen, Princess of the Apocalypse, Rise of Tiamat, and Thunder's Giant's Thunder or whatever. I have not run any of those. I looked at the books and I kind of felt like they left. Well, not only were they reminded me of products that I've already bought from Wizards, but they just seemed to leave so much. I just didn't know what to do. And then I found myself wondering, why would I... it can be sometimes more work to run a written module than to write your own. And so with so many questions, as I was looking through those books, I was like, why would I go through that extra work if I'm just don't feel like I'm getting a ton of answers here? Now, to counter my own argument, some friends of mine, what's up, Bumbo and Peoples, they've been running out of the Abyss for almost 2 years now, and they're having a great time. So I think they're great. In my days, I did run a bunch of modules, but I really mainly ran published modules out of Dragon Magazine in the late 80s and early 90s. That was my main source of doing published modules. But really, even back then, I'm mostly just running my own stuff. I really think a big part of the hobby is creating your own modules and adventures. But I think what you really want in an awesome source book is all of the hook-ins and the mechanics and some of the detail work to make your own modules, but not so much that you feel trapped, but not so little that you feel baffled. I don't know. It's a very, very fine line, So that's why you just have to collect tons of source books. You're always just searching for that one that's going to spark you. Like, I've never run a mouse guard game yet, but I have derived a lot of gameplay out of reading Mouse Guard, because the way it helps you see how you would create an adventure. Or it gives you some kind of creative spark that a lot of books don't. Oh yeah, Empire role-playing. Man, that is exactly what I wind up doing, is I read the module almost just as something fun to do. And I never run the module, but I read it, and then a couple of those little ideas find their way in. One of my all-time favorite published modules, besides Keep on the Borderlands, which was great, everybody loved it, or what is it, Lost City or City Under the Earth, was Song of the Fen that was in Dragon Magazine. I really, really enjoyed that one, which is totally not an answer to your question. And on that note, yeah, Chained Coffin, Joseph Sterling, love that module. The way that DCC writes modules, that's actually a great point, Joseph. Thank you. They write them, I think, almost perfectly. They give you all this imagination fuel that just sets you off running, and you never look back. I so far have not gotten that effect from a 5e book. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm always beating up 5e so much. I'm always being so mean to poor Watsy. I'm kind of biting the hand that feeds me a little bit. I guess everybody's got to be a little bit mean to the big kid. Okay, so I've been kind of fixating on the coast and on the wall here, and I still haven't even done the stinking salt frost. So we're about to do it. Here it is. It's this area right here, if you can see my mouse nib moving around. Yeah, Adam Bennett. You know, I've never read Rise of the Rune Lords, but I've heard that is a really, really great adventure path. And I do like Paizo's material a lot. It's just there's so much material. Lately, I have been having so much fun reading smaller press material. I haven't really gotten around to all that yet. I'm not liking running the 5e adventures, says Raving Bean. Yeah, that's the pattern I get into, Raving. Okay, so the Salt Frost is like this series of frozen, salty, corrosive mud pits. I know, it sounds absolutely terrible, and it is terrible. Almost as terrible as my dog's gas. Okay, poor dogs, they have to be shamed on YouTube about their gas. Okay, so anyways, I'm just doing these like sort of pond shapes. Hello, I'm a pond shape. So if you guys know the first novel, this is right where that final battle happens. And you know, it takes some days to walk across this thing, so scale is always fun to remember how crazy it really is. Anybody who's, you know, gone on a long hike, especially in a foreign country, you know how truly insane scale of the earth is. It's nuts. Okay. Boy. Oh, the endless wisdom of Drunken and Dragons, huh? You guys wouldn't believe it, but the earth is big. Good God. Okay. Yeah, Adam Bennett, man, there's just an amazing wealth of material in small press. It's just amazing. It's just, I mean, it's hard to even put into words how much creativity is really happening and the fun of absorbing it. Bob Fritchell, yeah, a lot of people have been talking about Mike Merle's new character type initiative setup, which basically favors ranged players and stuff like that. It's just a different way to do it. I think at the end of that roll, you know, you have to do your little post-its and keep track of the order like you would with any. I don't think it's, you know, it seems a little complex at first glance, but I really don't think it's that much more complex. I think what he's wanting to do is just use class as advantage for initiative rather than using dex as advantage for initiative. And I think that's a totally great idea. I mean, it's Mike Merle's, for crying out loud. So I'm sure at his table it's great. You know, we often online get into these discussions about what's great and what's terrible, and I don't believe in this, and this reeks of that, and, you know, you're a story gamer and you have your head up your ass and all this mean talk and stuff. But, you know, that's the internet. When it comes down to it, like, this is all about what happens at the table or what happens in your online session. You know, I think it's easy for people to be a little bit mean on the internet. Well, there's another gem of wisdom. The earth is big and people are mean on the internet. I'm a font of knowledge today. Good Lord. I personally don't like it. I wouldn't know, John. I'm just not sure. As just a designer in a vacuum, to me it seems a little more complexity and more detail than I would need in my game. But you guys all know where I stand on that. Like, I'm just a hardcore believer in clockwise. It's like Cyrus said, you know, it's like initiative can be cool for detail, but what it really leads to is quite often people getting skipped on accident. On total accident. But I think that clockwise ensures that no one ever gets skipped, and it's one of my favorite things about it. Okay, so in the far end of the Salt Frost, there's a hermit. Meanwhile, in my map, we're talking about all this other stuff. Meanwhile, in the map, there's a hermit, guys. Okay, so again, this map has this kind of fluid scale, so I don't have to worry about it. This is like a hermit's tent here. Okay, and then it's got a little doorway on the front. See that little hermit tent? And then he's got a little flag. Whoop, whoop. I got this stinking little terrain line getting in my way. Get out of here. There you go. Okay. Whoop, whoop. There we go. And a little flag. This is kind of like where Kazgat would live, but he lives on Gem Glacier. You know, some kind of cool little wizard hermit. Lives up here, and he's got little stakes holding his tent down. There we go. My tent's a little bit big, so I'm going to cheat and just bring it down just a touch because I do like how I drew it. Do it like that. That's I actually have a drawing class that I put together in my book, and I haven't made a video out of it yet. Because honestly, I feel ridiculous saying that I know how to do things and like, here's how you should do that. It looks great on paper, and then I go to do it, and I just feel ridiculous. Okay, cool. So, hey, look, we're getting there. So what I need to do... All right, good. So my black balance is a little bit off. You see that? So it's like the black like relents a little bit here too much. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. So like there's an area that's lacking black, and so I need to get it in there. A simple way would be some more trees. You know, I wonder if like, what if these are all filled in? That's going to be too heavy, right? Yeah, it looks like holes. So there probably just needs to be a little landmark here. So we'll just put a little set of stones, which I've been doing kind of all over the map, and I have no idea what it means. There we go. It's like these little set of ship stones, as they're called in Druid culture, but these weird little, in Druid culture. God, I'm just like cranking the dork meter up pretty high. It's like Spinal Tap in here. A long time ago, there were a bunch of druids, and they were moving around, doing things. All right. So there's my little Stonehenge piece. So see, that just gives me a little excuse to get just a little bit of black in there. So on one end of the Salt Frost, you have the Stonehenge, and maybe those are graves from the heroes in the first novel. And then far end, you have the Hermit, and then you've got Castle Manac here, which is this wall. And it kind of ends in jagged rocks so that you can't just go around because meta. Okay. Everyone feels like that. But we're all sitting here watching you draw. I love to see a drawing video. Anna Kurtz, thank you. That's very nice to say. Yeah, you know, it's really easy to write down the art class, the sort of drawing class that I want to teach. It makes really good sense when I write it down. But then each time I sit down, I'm like, hey, I should do that, you know. I just feel like a bonehead. Back in my day, we had Druid culture. Hell yeah, man. And we walked to Druid school. We didn't get a ride on Falcor. We had to walk. All right. Cool. So I feel like I'm going to need some names soon, and also because I don't know what's back here in this peninsula. So the fact that I don't know means that I need to take action. So what I want to do is find a comparable label, right? Something that's labeling a comparably sized feature. So probably, I guess the Westberg label looks comparable. So let's just grab that little guy and let's transport him up, up, up. Okay, there we go. So we'll go right here and we will say Salt Frost. And I'm going to separate the two words, even though I think it's one word technically speaking, but that's okay. And we're going to need to fit that in there somewhere. And then, so far, I have not been labeling castles unless they're massive like Ramthus. So we're just going to say Salt Frost. So, pursuant to that end, I need to make a little bit of room here. And to make the room, I just need to kind of get out of here, you goats. Back in the pen, you stinking goats. Get out of here, you stinking little goats. Get out, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna just delete this whole pond. You know, any good DM out there can infer this pond's presence. Okay, now we'll go back to. Are these for me or are these the pond's presence? Okay, so I'll go right here. Fit that in there. And there you go, Salt Frost. Okay, now, in so doing, it made me realize that I need a sanctum back here. And the way that I've been doing these sancta, in his case, he's got this kind of weird architecture, is you get like a flat line like this, and then another little thingy, weird architecture, weird architecture, and then you draw this little symbol. Just like that. It's like the top half of an H. There it is. There it is. Dear Lord. His skill is without measure. And so then I just pull a couple little titty bits out of there. Ooh. I think I said a forbidden word. Oh man, titty bits. That's too good. Oh man, what is everybody saying down there? I can't even see. I discovered your YouTube channel about a month ago, Scotty Garbidis. It's a treasure trove. Hey Scotty, thanks man, I appreciate that, and welcome. I hope things continue to be fun and awesome here on Drunken and Dragons. I know that the video buffet has been a bit thin lately. I won't go as far as to apologize, but I will say, let's hang in there. Let's keep believing. Let's keep achieving. So Manak has this weird path behind his castle. And this weird path goes down in here to this mystery that I wanted to solve in tonight's drawing session, which was never even alluded to in the novels. Never even have I written or dreamed in any way what the hell is back here. I have no idea. But it is mentioned that he does like weird magic stuff. So I need an idea down here. Are you going to be posting this map to Facebook? John Jarvis. No, this will be released with the ICRPG World Book, which is a massive, massive book. And this will be like a wall poster that's going to come with that. So it will take me quite a bit more time to finish this. This is a colossal project. I walk in the room and I hear titty bits. Boobs. Oh man, the best use of boobs today is Skeletor was mentioned in one of my videos. Oh no, it's because I had the t-shirt on. And somebody said, if you're a real Skeletor fan, you have to call people boobs. And I was like, oh my god, this is someone who watches He-Man as much as me. Skeletor is always saying like, that's what you would think, you fur-faced boob. It's so good. It's easy to forget how crazy Skeletor was, man. That dude's nuts. Nuts, I say. Yeah, when I'm always stumped on writing a new module or a new piece, I watch one episode of He-Man because they're perfectly self-contained little mini-stories. I love them. Hey, Noodler, my OP video. Oh, thanks, man. That turned out to be quite a controversial video. I really appreciate everybody, taking what I say so seriously, but I think sometimes, like, it gets over assumed that I'm being serious, that I have like gravitas about what I'm saying, but I cannot emphasize enough that I am just some weird ogle-eyed three thumb having weird t-shirt randoid from the 8th dimension. I do not know what I'm doing. So, everything I say should be taken with a grain of halfling salt. In case we find a roast chicken. Roast chicken! Frodo's all incredulous. Like Sam's never going to find a chicken. What a jerk. Oh, yeah. When the DM is OP, man, that's tough. When he's hogging all the time, that is tough. Or she's hogging all the time. Sometimes I'm going through my day and I stop and think, oh crap, I forgot about Skeletor. Yeah, don't do that, man. Keep him in mind. How do you feel about Matt Colville? Fine. His eyebrows and hair are super inspiring. He is an eagle of a man. I find it hard to keep up with everything on his channel. He kind of has this million mile an hour thing going. So every once in a while, one of his videos will be really fun, and a lot of times I just kind of get lost in it. It seems like he's got a lot of credentials, though. He sure has a lot of followers and stuff, so I'm sure he's a great dude. Seems like he plays a lot of games. I was not a fan of his actual play stream that he did with like 18 cameras and stuff. I thought that broke his formula a little bit. And, you know, like, actual play can be really hard to make fun to watch. Okay, so everybody with the comments. I get so weird. Later, Violet. What is Manak hiding back here? Why does he defend this peninsula? I think I know the answer because I'm talking slowly enough to come up with something while I talk. He is hiding one of the legendary fields of yeaah. So up here in the ice, these red crystals are growing. And so he has been keeping people out of here for centuries because he's studying how to harvest the power from these red crystals, especially in their natural form. So I just got to draw a lot of little obelisks here, little crystal shapes. I don't know what this shape is called. Does anybody know what that shape's called? Where it's like hexagonal with a pointy top? That kind of quartzy shape? It's got to have a name. Yeah, so there's like a big one coming out of the ground and like some little ones next to it. So you guys, you see my idea here? He's got like these crystals back here. He's got to protect the crystals, you fur-faced boob. There we go. Some of these crystals are sort of silhouetted so that I keep my black balance where it needs to be. Red lyrium. The third gray. Well, in Alfheim and as well as Warp Shell in my two campaign worlds, there are these crystals called yeaah, which are these red crystals that kind of are older than everything. They kind of house the intelligence of the universe. And thanks to one player in our ICRPG campaign, the Big D, he kind of created this sort of grafting story where magicians are grafting these crystals onto their bodies. And usually I don't think they even mean to do it. It just sort of happens to them. See, I got to keep I'm not sure exactly where I'm drawing everything, and so I get those scribbly weak lines, and screw those lines, man. Freaking go for it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to draw something badly? I mean, come on, get over it. This is me talking to myself, by the way. Don't anybody take it the wrong way. I'm just yelling at myself to be better. Be a better person. All right, he's got the fields. The crystal fields. Yeah, that's cool. So, to properly defend these invaluable things, he's got a few like little garrisons. So I'm going to put some towers. In this case, towers are black rectangles because I can draw. Excuse me. Okay. So remember my little convention here. A tower is basically just one of these, and then pull out the titty bit on the top. Like that. Like that. It's like that sort of H-y shape. Don't break my heart. My H-y breaky. My H-y break. God, that is not easy to say. All right. Garth Brooks presents D&D. So these garrisons have these little lookout windows, which in this case are tiny white dots. Okay, so now I've got this whole little peninsula that I got done, and I just need to do some of this work. So this just reminds you that this is water. This is a really handy thing to do on your maps, by the way, because it can be hard, especially at vast distances. You can lose track, without using corny tricks like bright blue for water and stuff. You can lose track of where the water and the land are. So these are kind of like a sort of a stylistic parenthesis that can, from a distance, at a glance, give your eye what it needs to see land masses. What are your thoughts on Dragon's Milk, the beer? I've never had that, but that sounds amazing. Perhaps got a vision from this god, and yeah. I want to see Monty Cook run a game. I hear he walks around the table. Yeah, I've seen a few DMs that do that. Some of the guys on Stream of Annihilation were kind of doing that style. I know that Chris, the Dwarven Forge guy, Chris Picorni, I know he sort of walks around the table a little bit and gets a little crazy with it. And freaking rock on, man. If that works for your game, do it. Mike Merles just came out. Oh, wait, that's... Monty Cook, right? Monty Cook just came out with a new release called Predation. That cool dinosaur, post-apoc dinosaur sort of world. I don't know anything about that cipher system, though, so I haven't delved yet. And I really want to get Blades in the Dark. It's probably my next purchase, so I'm going to hold out on Predation for now. For now, we'll see how the reviews come in. Because I set my life by reviews. Oh, man. Similar question. Favorite beer? Oh, the Swole Knave. Hey, man, I haven't seen you around for a while. You still swole, son? You gotta know them protes. My favorite beer. That is such a brutal, brutal question. Oof. Man, I don't know. If you're just talking like overall, like all beer for all occasions and like you're stuck with one beer kind of a question, it'd probably be something not very high quality. You know, like Coors or something. The high quality beers, don't get me wrong, like I love Field 41 by Bellbreaker. I love the Blood Orange that Hop Farm just came out with. I love all the Citra hop beers that have been coming out. They're great. Oh man, I love the Rainbows and Unicorns. That's a fantastic beer. But I wouldn't want to drink them for ages. Jeff Phillips is losing his mind over there. Yeah, like a perfect example is 1554 is a spectacular beer, but I couldn't call it my favorite because I don't want more than a few of those. Trying to make a settlement. I'm all for it. The question was, how do you feel about players trying to make a settlement or make a town or a fortress? I'm all for it. It's totally awesome. If that fits your table style, then rock on. Lately, all of my games have been lots of action and lots of revelation and lots of just intensity, and I haven't really been playing that side of the game lately. So maybe I'll come back to that. It would be cool. But, like in my college days, man, that's what we were all about. We built a huge fortress, and we were dealing in the tens of thousands of gold, and we got into Spelljammer and stuff. It was fantastic. Okay, guys, check it out. Not bad, huh? We got this whole little area kind of occupied here. And I'm going to leave a lot of it unlabeled. I do think probably Castle Manac might need a label, but it could be a floater, like Dur Olo is right up there. So let's grab that label, clone it, transport it, and change it to Castle Manac. Beep. Right there. It's a little big for my taste, so we're going to kind of go like this, and we're going to go like this. Boop. There we go. But actually, in the story, Castle Manac is described as the wall portion, not the keep. So I think the keep has not been seen in my fiction yet, so we're not going to name it. There we go. The little guy's tucked right in there. Yeah, little tuck guy, you stinking dude. You got that little stinking dude? Is that what you got? Some kind of stinking dude? Now, I want a huge dungeon that is underneath this island, and I don't care about anything anybody says. So, there's this weird rock, there's a freaking cave door, and there's a little staircase. There you go. Pow! That's how I'm going to roll. Yes! God, my certainty on that one was absolute. I don't even know what that is. I don't care. But there's an entrance to some massive under labyrinth there on that little island. And I don't think Manac even messes with it. It's some kind of cool thing. Maybe it's one of the Colossa Tectura from the book. Weird rock, cave door, staircase. Boom, 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 biggie, boom, biggie, boom, biggie, boom, 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 biggie, boom, biggie. I'm venturing into creating my own world for the first time. Should I start big or start small? Ian Pfeiffer, I recommend planning 1 night of gameplay. 1 night of gameplay. Do that until you feel like the roots of your game have sort of taken hold, like the seed is growing, it's germinating. And once you feel that, and you'll know when the time comes, you'll feel it, then I would consider sort of expanding your world. But if you have good players who are going to show up on the reg and play, then use those players as part of the creation process for your world, which is totally, by the way, what I did. Have done over the years, is like players help to create things that matter, and you sort of let your world blossom out of it. I think you get a much more unexpected, a much more original and sort of detailed and lively world when you design it that way. Have the players make stuff up. Boom, 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 biggie, biggie, boom, biggie. How many encounters in a night? Should I be stingy with magic items? Well, that's 2 questions. The first one depends on how long you play. We do about 3 encounters per night. 4 if one's a quickie. It's that simple. Even if we have a lot of time on our hands, I will keep it that tight, because once you get fatigue in the group, your encounter can definitely fall on its face. As for stingy with magic items, man, only you can really answer that. If you're good at custom monster creation, if you have a really deadly environment like I do, then by all means hand out magic items at will. My advice is don't be stingy with anything generally. It's just have a smorgasbord. We're here to have fun, right? So I would just have fun. If they get too powerful and things get too crazy, then wrap it up and move on to another campaign or build new characters in the same world or something. But I wouldn't hold back or anything. Like if they roll really high on magic items, then there you go. I mean, you can ask Cyrus sometime about the rock feather and how that played into our campaign. Crazy times. All right. So those are rivers. I'm just looking around at other things and seeing how we stack up here. Yeah, we're feeling consistent. So that was about an hour of work. So you can see how this could be an extremely large project. If that was an hour of work, I would say I have approximately 50 to go. So that's exciting. I'm going to do that work. I can see from this distance, though, my pine tree's got a little anemic up here. So before we finish up the stream, we're going to move in. Did Hank live in Colorado once upon? Yes, Noodler. I grew up near Boulder. Well, I grew up in Guam as well, but I did a lot of my young adult stomping in Boulder. Stomping around in Longmont, Colorado. Hey, you over there. Are you one of them young adults? Because I don't take kindly to your folk. Okay, so I just wanted a little bit of heavy trees here to balance out the tree scale. So I'm just putting in a few very large trees. Because at a distance, you want the map to have that even feeling so that you don't mistake a tree for being special just because it's accidentally large or something like that. There we go. Cool. And we are floating. So I'm going to hit that old save button. I'm going to put my pen over there. This guy comes down. Now get ready for multiplicative universe. Whoa. I'm going to make myself big. Ah! I'm huge. All right. And then this guy comes up. I think I got some kind of alert here. Okay, there we go. Great. There we are. Now I'm normal. I'm somebody. Okay. So let's get rid of the multiplicative universe. Man, there's like this. I'm bathing in nuclear fire. These webcams are not that good with adapting to window light. But it's just so nice. Okay, so now it's just kind of hanging out and checking out ye old Q&A here. Scroll up. No, don't scroll that way. Scrolling within scrolling. I don't know. Does it drive you guys crazy? Am I a Luddite? Because I get confused. Okay, here we go. Come on, give me the thing. Holy bonzoli, there's 126 people in here? You people are nuts. It's Monday night. It's probably bedtime for most people right now. Man, that is delicious. That was my last little bit. Yeah, man, and bugs too. Weird bugs, but good swimming. So, anyways, that was about it. I just wanted to get some work done on that stinker. And I'm feeling pretty good that I got some work done on that stinker. So, I think I'm going to sign off, my wonderful friends. I thank you, everybody, for showing up. This is kind of kooky. I really was just kind of wanting to get a little bit of work done here at the end of the day. You know, I peter out. I get up really early, so I peter out like at 3:30. So I was just like, I want more life. You know, just like Roy in Blade Runner. Only I don't have my creator's skull to crush in my desire to live on. All I have is you fine people to talk to. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. Yes, enjoy your 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Remember to pour one out for those founding fathers. Remember why we're here. Treasure those freedoms because they are not free. Thank your service folks that you know for their noble duty and courage. And by all means, be safe, drink responsibly, and party like animals. Absolute beasts. Use that freedom and enjoy it. Funny thing, freedom. It asks us to rise to its occasion. So rise, I say. Oh. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everyone for all the stuff. I don't have to call you out on it. All the stuff that's been going down, all the support, all the comments, all the messages, everybody showing up to play ICRPG, everybody finding all the silly typos in there, everybody posting all the amazing art on the Google Plus community, everything. You guys know who you are. Thank you. Eel eyes. Or wait, eel brows. These are my eel brows. Eel brows. Okay, I'm going to get out of here before I lose my freaking mind. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm not sure what to click, but I imagine it's in here somewhere. And then I say stop. I say stop to the stream. So, thanks everybody. I'm about to hit the button, so that means it's time to say oh, la 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 la.